2, 3, bam, and we are live right now as we speak. Blam. So, since this is going to be timed, what's going on here is that I'm here with JVS, a friend of mine, fellow YouTuber, and he also does like reactions and stuff. But right now, there's a series I started like way back called JA Movie News. I definitely want to resurrect it, start fresh, and start doing more of these with the new year, but kind of like in a live stream setting. So this is officially episode 1. Gonna try to keep it to about 25-30 minutes for these episodes, and let's just get it cracking. It's gonna be movie news related, and I want to talk about Star Wars, the current the Force Awakens current box office gross. It's definitely what I wanted to talk about. All right. For you guys who don't know, at the current time, after 17 days worldwide, the Force Awakens has made $1.51 billion worldwide. Sam,
19 days. That's craziness, man.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's funny, like earlier today, I was looking at all the information on it, and I was thinking to myself, this is 19 days. This movie is the #2 movie domestically of all time, sitting at about 740 million, right? But then they're international just over the weekend, like they're now at like what, 770 billion or 770 million. Like that's just insane to me. So they're projecting, I guess, by Wednesday. I'm thinking probably by Tuesday, it's going to surpass Avatar for the #1 domestic movie of all time.
Wait. You're saying by Tuesday, as in like the 5th?
Yeah, the reason why I say that is because it's been averaging about 30 million per day. It's been averaging about 30 million per day. So it's like, it's hypothetically speaking, if on Monday they even do like 20 million, then they'll already have it. And that's before inflation. So, and then I think it's January the 9th that it opens in China, and that takes up most of the international market. So it's a strong possibility that, to me, I've even said a number, I think when Lucas was on, that it could hit like maybe 2.7 billion, like overall, which would be insane.
Dude, there's no way. Hold on, I got real bad. Okay, at the current time, worldwide Avatar grows like let me see. Let me double check something. I think. Okay, yeah, worldwide Avatar grossed 2.7 billion. Bruh. Did you hear the billion? if it passes that mark by Tuesday, I'm gonna piss myself.
Oh no, not by Tuesday, not by Tuesday. I'm saying that by the end of it all. So because
I thought you meant you were saying by this coming Tuesday. I was about to be like, bruh.
Nah, because I mean the thing was that Avatar hit its domestic high gross of 760 million domestically in 72 days, and this movie reached 700 mark in 16 days. So I'm saying that this might be the only movie to potentially reach $1 billion domestically in its turnaround, like all over its long-term run. It could potentially hit at least 1 billion domestic. And that's insane.
Well, I mean, that's that's definitely why I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about this because I mean I think it's gonna defeat Avatar. I think, and that is totally I mean, still, this is a huge haul, but I mean, at the rate that it's going, man, it's killing it right now, killing it. Let me see here. I think I'm just reading up on some facts right quick about the Force Awakens, but I just, it's unbelievable, man.
I mean,
it grossed a record-breaking 88.3 million in North America over New Year's weekend. Like, bruh, crazy
Yeah.
numbers. Do you think that episode 8 could even possibly get to those numbers?
I don't know. I think that for episode 8 to get to that point, Rogue One has to not be a letdown. Like the in between of 2 years, I can't sit there and be looking at Rogue One and be like, this was okay. Like Rogue One has to actually stand on its own as being a good film to be able to give me the last of the 2 years. Like if they didn't have anything in between, like my wait time of 2 years, my anticipation would be a lot higher than me having to wait like a year and then another year, like and going that way. But like Empire Strikes Back, if they come off really strong, they have a great script, they have a great opening trailer, it could be. But I think that what's going to be the problem is there's going to be a lot of amazing movies next year. And it's like, it's really hard to tell what, I guess, the popular demand is going to be. Like what bandwagon everybody's going to jump on, essentially. Because, I mean, a lot of people, could come out of this next year being like X-Men Apocalypse fans or like Batman vs Superman fans and waiting for that franchise. I mean, it's just a lot. And then on top of that, in 2017, they've got a lot of movies coming out that year. So I really don't know.
I think it's in the conversation. I mean, it's interesting you mentioned Rogue One because I personally feel like even if Rogue One failed, it just dramatically failed, like the way that Fantastic Four failed. Even if that happened, I feel like that would have zero effect on Episode 8. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like it would have no effect because it has nothing to do with Episode 8 or 7. You know what I mean? It's almost like it's almost like its own separate entity, literally. You know, like its own hermetically sealed thing. So I feel like whether it was great or bad, I think that wouldn't do anything for the anticipation for Episode 8. But I could be wrong, though. Could be wrong.
Only reason why I say that is because if it was just Rogue One and it didn't have like Star Wars in it, like, you know, we know the backstory. We even know what it's going to be about before it got there. We knew who the characters' names were before the movie came out. So we won't have a problem differentiating what is the difference. But for those people that are new or old to the franchise, they'd be like, wait, what is this? You know, like, I want Episode 8 and then you give me this. You know, I feel like it has to be a certain amount of consistency for those people that aren't direct like fanboys. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where I'm a little bit worried about it. But I mean, I'm just like overjoyed, period, from the accomplishment of this movie. I mean,
and for anyone joining in right now, we're talking about where The Force Awakens is box office wise, but it is astounding the performance that it's doing right now. I mean, the fact that we're even having a conversation about overtaking Avatar is like, what? Rogue One, we'll have to get to that different day, but or if we have time, we can squeeze it in. But it just, I don't know, man. I still feel like it's a very separate thing. And the only thing I'm concerned about Rogue One is A, if it's even a good movie, and B, how they're going to deal with the confusion for the audience. I feel like most audiences are going to be extremely confused, at least initially. They're just going to be like, they're going to be like, what? You know what I mean? I think they're just going to be confused. I think that's the only thing, because as far as I'm standing, I mean, doing repeat numbers of what Force Awakens did will be difficult, but like I always say, if it looks like it's going to be a great film, you never know. You just don't know.
Did you see the concept art that came out for the Rogue One? I just sent it to you in the link bar. I'll try to put it on for everybody else as well, so y'all can be able to kind of.
For Episode 8, I was like, "There's concept art for Episode 8," but no, I've seen I've seen it for Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, because I really like that shot. Like to see like what looks like to be some rebels like in the dirt, in the grid, and I mean, like the thing about it is with the technology they have to go back in the past in the era that was the defining era, which is when Luke was around and when Darth Vader was Darth Vader. I mean, I think it's gonna be interesting because Darth Vader is gonna be in this film, so it's like where are they gonna go with that? Like there's a lot of possibility.
Yeah, I still don't want to speak on. Maybe I don't want to speak on Rogue One yet, just because
It's too early.
it is really early. There's a lot of things. It's just mostly speculation that we can really say,
Yeah.
which we could say the same for this next topic. But since it was going to be the next topic, I did want to get into just episode 8 in general, just speculation there on episode 8.
Okay.
We'll talk about Rogue One, but just not yet. Damn it. But with episode 8, some things that come to mind. I know recently something came out that J.J. Abrams read the script and loved it. I read somewhere that he read it, and apparently he said something that he never ever says, which was that that episode 8 is going to be so good, and he wished that he wrote it himself. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I did read that article sometime last week, and I mean the thing was that my understanding was when he did moving forward, he was one of the co-producers or executive producers of episode 8, so he directly showed the formula to the new director, worked with them on it, but they didn't have the groundwork for the full script. And it's like he looked at the script and he was like, dang it, I wish I would have been I mean even if like he was like a co-director or something like that, I mean I can imagine like, and I thought this was gonna happen when as soon as episode 7 came out, I was thinking to myself, dude, like this guy is gonna want to be a part of this next part, because I was like, this looks like it can be very successful, and this is gonna go down in history as being one of the most successful movies, not just Star Wars, but movies of all time. And it's like, I mean, from a money standpoint, but then we know from a filmmaker standpoint, to want to continue something that you started or propelled in a sense. I think that they're gonna put him in some kind of capacity like Christopher Nolan was with the DC universe in the beginning stages. You know how like before Zack Snyder really became like the front runner, like Christopher Nolan was, the groundwork to push Man of Steel where it needed to be. And I think that they're gonna keep JJ in just from a money and logistical standpoint. And they did the same thing with Mendez with Nightfall going into Spectre, just because of the money and just because they wanted to keep somebody that is put it in a different direction. So, I mean, I think he's going to be in there some capacity. He made that statement. He didn't just make that statement for his own personal reasons. I think that he's going to be connected.
Yeah, and I know that him and JJ and Rian Johnson, I know they've been talking behind the scenes. Who, for the record, Rian Johnson, I think is, even though he really doesn't have much underneath his, in his discography, but Looper and Brick, nonetheless, are a couple of my favorite movies. Like, period. Yeah. And especially with Looper, when you just look at Looper alone, it like you can already start to imagine like the visual aesthetic that Ryan might try going for with episode 8, which makes me happy because there's a lot of practical stuff going on in Looper, which I dig. One thing I wanted to touch on was that Rey. What are your final thoughts about Rey? I mean, do you think she was just birthed from the Force, or do you think she's a Skywalker or a Solo, or a Solo, so that she has a literal connection between her and her brother? What are your thoughts?
With Rey, when I first before the movie even came out and I first saw her on the scenes, I was thinking to myself, this is the twin, like this is the other twin, like this is Kylo Ren, like Ben Solo's twin sister. And then when I got into the movie and I assessed how everybody, interacted with her, whether it be Han, whether it be Leia, they didn't interact with her like she was their long lost daughter. It wasn't enough emotion for that. And I know they're better actors to portray it that way. It was almost as like she was family, that they knew about her, or like this is their cousin to some capacity. Even with Han Solo offering her a job, you know, I think that I'm more inclined to believe that she's a Skywalker. Now, in between, I guess, the 30 plus years, anything could have happened between Return of the Jedi and to that point. Yeah, Luke could have had, you know, a child. And I mean, even though it's not canon in the book series, he did have a child.
Sure.
So but they've already stated that they're not going to try to connect any of this to the books or any capacity. And so, I mean, it's really left up to speculation. I think I had a conversation with somebody yesterday that she was self-conceived through the midichlorians. And so, I mean, that would be interesting because she, to me, is directly connected with Anakin Skywalker, and just in the way of pure power, natural born power,
Sure.
in connection to the Force. But the only reason why I'm more inclined to believing like she's a Skywalker is because when she picked up the lightsaber, and just what Ma said, she was like, you know, Anakin Skywalker, then his son, and then now you. I was like, that's way on the nose. And so I don't know. I'm more inclined to believe she might be a Skywalker, but I really love her character in general, though.
I personally, I would prefer if she had no family ties to. I wish it was none of the three. I wish that there was no forced birth thing, which is weird. I don't think that should be it. I also don't think she should be a Skywalker or a Han Solo. I think it should just be something completely different. Me personally. But I mean, if she was sort of had to be related, I would say that I would hope that she's a Solo instead of a Skywalker, because I think you would have a really deep connection between. There'd just be a deeper intensity between her and Kylo if they were brother and sister.
Yeah.
You know? That would be a really interesting thing to play off on.
Heck yeah.
Because it almost looks like Luke is like I hate to break it to you, kid, but you're sort of related to a he doesn't. I don't know, the way that he looks at her at the end of Force Awakens. It's not like he doesn't look like he has. Like, he's not overjoyed to see her. It's almost like there's a burden in his face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different emotions, and even somebody put on the chat that she's a Kenobi for sure. I'm like, okay, first off, everybody keeps saying that, but if you remember A New Hope, this man was what, 80 or 70 something years old, and I'm like, think about the time frame when he died then up until 30 years a little bit later on, and that's not including all the time frame that it took in between the Star Wars original series. She can't be a Kenobi unless like Obi-Wan had a brother or something to that capacity, and that we don't know about. And everybody keeps on bringing up like it's Kenobi, and I'm like, bruh, the dude was dead. He was a ghost, like getting with somebody.
No. No. There's a few other points I wanted to get to really quick, but so you think officially that, short summary, like what do you hope? I guess, like if you had
I'm like you that I would prefer her and Finn to not have any connection with the older characters. They just have some kind of connection to the Force in general. That there's a true awakening.
Sure.
But I feel like they want to try to stay consistent with the other characters that leave weight or legacy. And I mean, just like Snoke potentially being Darth Plagueis, and then having Rey being connected directly to either a Solo or a Skywalker, I feel like they feel like it's needed. And it's really on the nose with just the way they interact with her throughout the entire film. So I'm thinking that she's a Skywalker, but I really would love for her just to have no connection with them at all.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping she's either Solo or none of the above. That's what I'm hoping. So that she has a, sort of like in Jessica Jones, her and homeboy Kilgrave, they had such a deep connection because of their past was so intimately, connected with one another. So that's what I hope. But since we're nearing the 30-minute mark, there's three other things I wanted to get to because I thought they were really strong points. Okay, so I can't remember where Kylo left his mask, but when we get to the end credits, but what if he had to get a different mask and he used like a revamped version of the Darth Vader helmet? Have you thought about that?
I hadn't thought about it, but I do remember that he lost his mask when he killed his dad. Basically, when he dropped that thing on the bridge, Chewie blew the whole location up, and he ran after them. He didn't pick it back up.
You're thinking that the mask, I was just holding duct tape, random, but so you're thinking that the mask was left on the on the Star Destroyer?
Yeah, it was definitely the Star Destroyer. The last place that I think that, matter of fact, the symbolism to me is that the day that he killed his dad is the day that he turned off the facade of him perpetuating to be this dark villain. And I think that you're right. I feel like he needs to have a different form of mask. And it would be interesting if he did get a form of like Darth Vader's mask. That would be freaking nuts. Dude, I would freak out, to be honest.
That could be a teaser trailer in itself. Like, him walking to like an altar and it's like the same beat up mask, but it's a little bit like stitched together and it's just vaguely different. And like he goes to put it on and then it's just like episode 8. I'd probably cry.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's like it would work because he's consumed with trying to emulate Darth Vader. And I could sit there seeing him going so crazy and say, I am the new Darth Vader. I am the new Force. I was like, dude, if this dude is crazy enough to say some stuff like that, I was like, he's willing to kill anybody and anything. And I think that that something like that to that capacity needs to happen. But I'm interested to see where it's gonna go.
Oh my goodness, that would be. Oh man, that needs to happen. All right. Couple other points I want to get to. We're trying to keep this segment, these movie news segments, a little bit more concise than usual. But what do you think about his next lightsaber? Do you think it'll be like the same crossbar lightsaber? And if not, then what?
I mean, I think that the only thing that they haven't done, I think in the Star Wars Rebel series, I saw different variations of lightsabers that were just really cool. Like there was one lightsaber that actually had a gun connected to it, which was craziness. But to me, I think that when he completes his training, that he'll be able to actually create his own lightsaber. But I feel like this lightsaber needs to be able to switch between different forms of lightsabers. Like say if it can at will be a dual lightsaber, or if it can be able to form in a different kind of fashion or burn higher. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it has to be something inventive and creative, but just as convoluted as his mind really is. Because when I thought about the first lightsaber that he had, I was like, this is somebody that didn't know how to put a lightsaber together the right way, but it came out a certain kind of menacing kind of way. And it's like when you have somebody that's just the same, but now is a master of their craft, like he could take it any way he wanted to. I mean, even when I think about, I still don't know how this dude was able to stop like a shot in the air and keep it there at will.
Yeah.
Like that's so much power that is untapped. And she's the same. Like it's the same. Like with her, it's like, what is her lightsaber gonna be like? Is she really gonna use Luke's? Or is she gonna create her own? You know what I'm saying?
Ooh. You know, what'd be hard is if I think you mentioned something really interesting. If it was sort of like a Final Fantasy thing where it was like a blade and a gun, that would be really interesting. Or if it was like it could be like a crossbar, or it could just be a regular, just one blade, or it could even just be dual at the same time. That'd be sick. I was just thinking it would be interesting as well if it could like emit like a shield, like a literal shield where if you swung at it, kind of like those gay ass little roly droids in the prequels, but just a cooler version.
Yeah.
You know, that would be some shit.
It would, dude.
Dang.
I mean, I really feel like they're gonna showcase what's the true potential of a Jedi Master and a Sith Lord to the extent of what he is, and where they are 30 years later from the trilogy we know. Like, how has the Force altered and changed good and light, or good and dark, rather? I really feel like Episode 8 is gonna showcase a lot more raw power. So, like, what that looks like. Thinking about that makes me more anticipating of Episode 8. And that's why I say that the trailer, it has to be, it has to show me something. Show me something wrong.
I know a lot of people might be shocked, but I actually think that Episode 8 will be better than this one.
Wow.
Rian Johnson is a hell of a choice to make. He hasn't made many films, but I'm telling you, they made the right choice in that man. Couple things I wanted to bring up here before we reach the end here. Just want to get some quick thoughts. The people were saying, or characters were saying, that Luke was trying to visit the first Jedi temple ever. It just occurred to me we did not see that temple, as far as I know, in Force Awakens. What are your expectations of what might go down there? For me personally, my quick thoughts is that I hope it's honestly sort of like a Goku goes to train with King Kai type of thing. Like, I kind of hope like it's just like this ancient sort of, almost maybe like ancient Rome, ancient Egyptian sort of feel, like a stone, like a big ass stone building where like she trains with Luke for like X amount of months or something. What do you think?
I mean, I didn't think about that even when I did my reaction and spoiler review. Is the fact that we saw all the stone plates and what looks like, like something ancient as far as the remnants of the Jedi Order. I don't know if you played Star Wars: The Old Republic, but that was one of the best Star Wars games I'd ever played because it gave you the ability of choosing light or dark. Like, even your decisions made a difference. But they showed like the first class of Jedi, and if it's anything to that architecture, I could see it being something carved out of stone or something really extravagant. But I mean, these are years and years over time, so they had to be like worn out if there's anything even left. I'm curious to see about that as well. I don't know. I can't imagine it until like I see some kind of concept art. Like, I really don't want to even try to picture it. But
sure.
You'll definitely see.
What's some other quick thoughts I want to spit out here? First off, I don't think that Luke ever had time to get with a wife. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, maybe he had time to just bang a chick out once, but I just I don't see that unless it was like a wife that like he kept really low key. Yeah. That's my thoughts on that. What was something else I want to spit out really quick? Oh, I think the only other thing I had was Rey and Finn. Are we gonna see our first interracial relationship in Episode 8? What do you think? Quick thoughts. What do you think?
Okay, so to touch on the first one, there was in canon a person by the name of Mara Jade that ended up becoming Luke Skywalker's wife. But we'll touch on that personally later. But
yeah.
As far as the relationship, and a lot of people are gonna knock me for this because I don't think some people necessarily want it to go that way. They'd rather just have, them just be friends, quote unquote. I think I saw a meme. It was like every single time like he tried to hold her hand or help her out, he got put in the friend zone, quote unquote. But I think what a lot of people don't realize is that he motivated her to get off a planet that she was never going to leave on. It wasn't just BB-8. Like, he maintained and kept her and protected her to the best of his ability, being a stormtrooper, and I think that there's a real connection with them that will evolve the right way. unlike Anakin and Padme. It'll be a real relationship that will probably. I think it won't end up until like episode 9, because I feel like there's going to be some kind of conflict of interest, whether that be her trying to stay on the path of the Jedi, because a Jedi is not supposed to have because it can lead to the dark side based on temptation and based on loss. And
maybe she'll just be so deep into training with Jedi, she ain't got no time.
Yeah, I mean, I really could see her doing that because she's really clear on her devotions. Like when I thought about her trying to stay on Jakku, you know what I'm saying? Like she won't stay to that. But I feel like there's a real love for Finn that I think is gonna play out. And I mean, especially if she actually sees him again. And not just that, like, is he gonna be part cyborg because his freaking spine got cut out? Like, I mean, the lightsaber went through the back part of his spine, so it's like they're gonna have to do some repairs to his body, and we'll see where that goes. But I think that we will, and I would love to see that. Matter of fact, I love their relationship on a friendship level. And I think that the best relationships, no matter race or whatever, always begin with a great friendship, and they have it. They've got that chemistry.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're at the end here. But I do want to say, I do hope it happens because I think the actors have like an unusual chemistry. Like it almost seemed like their first reading was probably like effortless. Like JJ was like, "Oh, they're perfect for each other. That's all we got. We just need that, guys."
Did you see the interviews with them?
I've seen a few. Yeah.
It's really interesting watching them together.
I think they have a great chemistry. It really comes through, particularly when they first introduce each other on Force Awakens and they share their names, and I think it's going to happen. I think. I actually have a theory that it might not happen in the next episode because I actually think that Rey may half die in the next one, but that's my own theory for a different time.
Dang.
Oh yeah. But I know
not her hand cut off, just die.
half die, half. But no, I think it's coming, man. I think it's going down. Plus, your boy Finn's doing it right. He's getting physical. He's holding hands. You know what I'm saying? He's getting hugs in. He's doing it right, son. It's going in. He already got the kiss on the forehead, son. He's getting in there. He's getting in there.
He's in there like swimwear.
But if you guys missed the beginning of the video, I'm gonna start doing. I don't know if it's gonna be daily. I don't know if it's gonna be every other day. But either way, I'm revamping some life back into my JA movie news segments, and here's to episode 1, I guess. So, bam, we'll be doing more of these, and more will be coming at you soon, covering different topics, not just Star Wars, any movie news, anything movie related in a substantial way. Anyway, so yeah, man. Do you want to give your channel a shout out really quick before we peace out?
Oh, heck yeah, man. Y'all can follow me. Channel name is JVS. If you go to youtube.com/SEL0320, that's how you get to the direct link. But we do everything from reactions to reviews, and like Jor-Els and his new movie, like I'm actually working on a new movie as well, and just dropped the new trailer for that. But yeah, definitely I'm excited. Let us know in the comments what other like things y'all want to bring up. Like, I'm curious to see what new topics that we can talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, what's the title of your movie again?
The Prodigal Brother. That's the title of the new official one. And then we're working on another one really soon, but I got to write the script for that.
All right. Well, he's got his movie coming out. He's got like a trailer and shit for that. So I'll have his information and, links to that down below. He'll be joining me a lot in the future going forth, and I think that's all for now. We're gonna try to keep these a little bit shorter than usual, and yeah, that's it. We out.
Later, y'all.
Peace.